Uh, busy as a bee, mate. Busy
Yeah.
as a bee. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot happening at the moment,
Yeah.
but nothing that we can't cope with.
No, 100%. So it's all good. So the reason, guys, that I bring John on is I think it's a really good opportunity to be able to just kind of like talk about men's behavior. You know, we've both been around the bush. We've both been around lots of different like scenarios of training and going through what we see with different scenarios with different men. And I think this is just a really good 15, 20 minutes of being able to like talk about that. So, first of all, John, let's just talk about who you are, where you're from, how you got here.
Currently Yorkshireman living in Scotland, so I will never buy a pint for anybody. Um, uh,
How many
I
know?
I first came across James when I was a complete mess. So being a client of James's and going through some of the questions and some of the thought processes that you guys might be having at the moment. I was 2 stone overweight. I was signed off work. I didn't know how to get out of the situation I was in. I was ruining every aspect of my life and not knowing how to get out of it. And then I think I signed up I did a 5 day challenge, a 28 day, a 6 week program we were doing back at that stage. And it wasn't even called what it's called now back then. Um, and I lost a stone in 28 days, lost another stone in the next 6 weeks, and managed to get myself out of the situation that I was in with a lot of hard work and a lot of planning, a lot of failing and learning, which gives me a, a good catalogue of stuff to be able to give advice from because
Yeah.
I've screwed a lot of things up in
Yeah.
my life and learned from those mistakes. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. And then the opportunity to work with JB came up a few years ago, and that fitted exactly what I needed at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great.
And you come out of like a corporate world as well, didn't you? Kind of like I think your plan was to have a little bit more freedom, a bit more time at home at around the time. Am I right in thinking?
Yeah, I worked for in corporate world for about 18, 19 years, and then came out of that. And around about the time when COVID happened, um, we shifted completely in our household. So my wife decided that she was going to wanted to work more.
Yeah.
I decided I wanted to work less,
Winning. Winning.
and that gave me the opportunity to do all the pickups and the drop-offs, and all those sorts of things, which doing this sort of work
Yeah.
allows me to do, but still challenge myself and also get to talk to guys and make a difference in some people's lives. So yeah, it's a great situation to be in, but it also allows me to see things from both sides, from working for a big corporate and also working for a small company like we are. Um,
Not small,
and,
mate. We're not
well,
small.
in terms of the
I'm
amount of people that
joking,
work
mate.
here,
I'm joking.
um, and yeah, it's two different sides of a coin.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's been a bit of a fucking journey, hasn't it? I think since you started.
Mhm.
Um we often go like end up like killing half an hour fucking like talking about the journey and evolving. The one thing I don't think has changed, like and what I mean it's been a journey throughout, like going through the process of trying to find what works really well in terms of program design, in terms of the amount of time, in terms of people coming into our world. And the problems never change with men. Like it's like we still, it's those same key problem areas, right? That we kind of focus on, and no matter what we do, those problems never change. So I often think there are so for me there are like five key problems that we face, and we can go through each one. So the first one is got to be chronic procrastination, right? It's always in that catch up phase. We're always in the cycle of chaos. Never seem to be making progress despite even having an opportunity, and like missing out on opportunities and kind of like fun along the way. Would you say that's one up? That's a real big one that's up there.
Yeah, I mean, there's various conversations that I've had with guys really recently, which have gone along the lines of, yeah, I'm just not ready now. And when I talk to them about what their vision is or their goals are, it's stuff to do with their family, it's stuff to do with their kids and stuff like that. Well, if you don't make the change now, by the time you realise that it's too late, it's absolutely gone. You are
Yeah,
not going to get the time back. And if you do not change something now,
yeah,
then nothing will ever change.
yeah,
And some guys are procrastinating where their health is on the line right now, and they won't commit to changing it for fear of what's on the other side, or
yeah,
what if it
yeah,
doesn't work, and all those types of things. But there's procrastination from that point of view, which is very immediate. But then there's also procrastination from, I'm solving a problem which might not appear for another 10, 12, 15 years, by which time there's no way to get that back.
yeah, yeah, that's
There's
right.
no way you can spend more time with your kids when they've left home. No way.
The thing about time though is it's non-refundable. Like, and that's one of the things I've always learned. You can't refund your time, and I think one of the other and the reasons people procrastinate is they're waiting for this perfect moment in their
Yeah,
life where they go, "I'm now ready to do something about the shit show that is my life." Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? And it's almost, do you know what it's like when we used to have, when I used to run a boot camp, people would say to me, I'm going to go away and get fit, and then I'm going to come and join your boot camp.
yeah,
And like that type of mentality. And at the end of the day, I think one of the things we've come to learn on, right, is that just you fucking do what you got to do. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like people have to go away and experience wasting time. One of the lads was saying he was 27 yesterday and he woke up 53 today, and he just like it
yeah,
just that's what it feels like, right? And you've got like you could explain that to you blue in the face, but unless you're willing to open up your eyes, it's like you're never going to fucking change. So the other one is compulsive time wasting, right? So I wrote some notes here. It's about hours getting wasted every day scrolling through social media and news sites, heads getting filled with other people's drama and problems, which pumps their body into a non-stop anxiety drive, right? So it's kind of like comparisons, doom scrolling,
yeah,
and what you consume is what you become,
yeah.
and that's, I think, one of the things that we've come to learn over the years, right? Would you say?
Yeah, and I think there's two pictures that crop up in my mind whenever I think about what are the effects of the doom scrolling and comparisons and social media and all that sort of stuff. And the two pictures are from films. So there's a bit at the start of, I think it's the zombie film 28 Days Later.
Yeah,
There's a bit at the start of that where there's a monkey which is just trapped in front of lots of TV screens, and the only thing that it can see are negative things.
yeah.
And that is for me what being, so don't get me wrong, social media's got some good points.
Oh yeah,
There are some advantages that you can, yeah, exactly. There's some advantages that you can get from being conscious about how you spend your time. But being unconscious about how you spend your time and just scrolling through stuff, you're just subjecting yourself to whatever somebody else wants to tell you, what
yeah,
somebody else wants to show you.
yeah,
And it's not always the good stuff
yeah.
that will attract people's attention.
100%.
So yeah, that that idea of, you can easily lose an hour,
Yeah,
an hour, 2 hours,
rabbit
by
hole.
just scrolling and not achieving anything. Well, what could you
100%.
do what could you do in 2 hours instead of doing that?
100%. And then people say, oh, I haven't got any money. And then it's a case of, well, you can spend that 2 hours every single day. I did this with one of the other lads on the side hustle, right? If you're doing a side hustle, you're doing 7 days, right? There's no two ways about it. If you're doing a side hustle, you're going to build a side hustle. You got prepared to eat shit in those early stages. So over a month, if you just did 1 hour over a month, that's 30 hours, right? That's
Hmm.
30 hours that you could throw into that. That's nearly 340 hours in a year that you could put into a side hustle where you could triple probably the wages that you're on right now. If you really did, we did it. I did it in my very first business,
Hmm.
and instead of like scrolling, wasn't even really massively on social media. It wasn't what it was today back in 2011, 13. I just throw it into YouTube, go and learn, 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 and every time you do something, you go, is this benefiting me, or is this fucking corrupting me? And I think that's the self-awareness chip, right? It's the
Yeah,
self-awareness model. So the third one I wrote down is daily arguments and petty bickering with family and friends. No matter who, what, or where, there's always tension and feelings on edge, which pushes the people they care about further away each day. So I put in summary here, family life.
Yeah.
So family life is one of those things where we're trying to fucking please the wife, where we're trying to please the kids, where we're trying to fit everything and everybody else in, and we take the hit because we put ourselves last, right?
Yeah, and I think there's 2 points in there for me. So one is about having, if you embark on a journey like the one that you can do with us, um, you have to get your support crew on side.
Yeah,
The people that make the biggest successes are the people that have the wife on board, the kids on board. They know what's happening.
yeah,
This isn't something that you squirrel away in a little bubble on your own and try and do it
yeah,
without anybody else's support. You've got to involve people and make
yeah,
sure that they know what you're trying to do is the right thing. Um, and just on the other point there about the family life, knowing what to spend your time on and what to focus on and what to let go.
yeah.
Because a wise woman once said to me, "Would you rather be happy or would you rather be right?" And I have to think about that a lot.
Yeah. But it's so true though, isn't it? I mean, like, it baffles me when a guy has to adjust to his wife why he wants to invest in himself to be a better man.
Mhm.
Just fucking do it. Like, just do it. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm investing in myself. I'm going to be a better man. I'm going to be a better husband.
Yeah,
And for a lot of guys, they're trying to justify it to the wife. And it's actually like the wife moans about you all the time, or says you're not present enough, says you're working too much. But here's the solution. Like, what other solution do you think there is going to be?
yeah.
And I think it's trying to get that mentality through to the head, right? It's a fucking blocker.
Yeah, when I finished my first 28 days, I thought to myself, should I carry on with this? And my missus said to me, "You have to carry on with it. Not. It's a. You need to consider X, Y, and Z, and it's a
Yeah,
it's a thing that there's no opportunity cost of you staying on with this. It was you've made so much improvement in the first 28 days, you cannot now stop. So it was a results based decision.
yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. Like, when you see the results, I remember when John Talbot, I was John Tarling, John Tarling sent me that WhatsApp message saying, "I've got my wife back,
Uh-huh.
or I've got my husband back," and he was just so made up at when we come back from Portugal,
Yeah.
and I thought that was such a fucking moment. Cool. Fourth one that I wrote was managing stress with dopamine flaws to the brain. Um, Dopamine floods to the brain. They choose to numb the shitty reality of their life by indulging in junk food, sugar, alcohol, drugs, porn, which only sinks them further in depression. I think one of the guys was talking about self-sabotage. I don't necessarily believe in self-sabotage. I just believe that it's a weak mentality. And a man's weak mentality leads him to vices, to cope. It's just bad coping mechanisms, bad habits. Okay. And it's like a reaction, right? If I flick the light switch, the light comes on. When I feel shit about myself, I flick the switch and I think, oh, porn will make it better. Or you flick the switch and go, the drinking will numb the pain and the
Mhm.
reality. So it's like this light switch. It's an ingrained habit. It's not a self-sabotage. It's the way that your circuit board is built inside of your brain. So we've got to be able to change the circuit board with the coding that we put in, right? So that we don't go, oh, I feel shit. Oh, I'm just going to fucking do drugs. We go, I feel shit. I'm going to get up early and I'm going to train. And it's
Yeah.
changing that perspective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's there's something in there around the human brain's structured in such a way that it will always, if faced with a decision, it will always look for the path of least resistance. So that kind of
Yeah,
leads you down the road of what the structure of the remember the mission movement is not easy. It's
yeah,
difficult. To get up and have the consistency, you've got to really put the work in to get to the point where that becomes something that you don't think about. Now,
100%.
if you're faced with an option of do we do something difficult or do we get a beer, you're probably going to choose a beer unless you are conscious at
Yeah,
that point of this is a, this. I have definitely got a choice here. It's not a fait accompli. I don't have to have a beer. I don't have to just sit and do nothing. I can consciously make a decision to get up and do something different.
100%. And that's training the brain. And that's when I talk to like guys about saying it takes 12 months to change. That is what we're talking about. The underlying rewiring or recoding of your circuit board, that your thought, like what we spoke about, is still there. Look on the board yesterday. It's like these are the principles that we're putting into play to change the bigger picture. Okay. And this is why it's real transformation, not fads, right? And then last one, always letting people down, especially family and friends, by breaking promises and running away from responsibility. People lose trust and faith, even more, even love, which only isolates them and infuriates the problem. So this is why I think people separate, is because they stop showing up, like always coming back late, always making false promises, always saying you do, and it's because of bad structures, bad routines, bad practices, and it is tough. Of course, it's fucking tough. It is really hard, and this is where you do the opposite of lead yourself, is that you crumble. So we
Yeah,
just let everybody down again. Oh, he's fucking drinking again. Oh, he's back late from work again. Oh, he's prioritizing. And every time, listen, don't get me wrong. There are times when you have to do a project like this week. You have to eat shit in the evening because I have to do the 5-day challenges. It's like I do it once a quarter. Okay. So I think it's really important to recognize the difference between something that is constantly happening and something that is well planned in and structured. Do you know what I mean?
hmm yeah, yeah. And I think one of the things you mentioned there was almost like you come across so many people that think that they're the only one with that problem.
Oh my
I know,
God.
I know I did when I first
Yeah.
when I first met you. I thought I was the only person in the world who had that's that particular set of issues at that time. Therefore, who the hell could help me?
Yeah.
Make sense of it all. And in actual fact, one of the benefits of our community is, you've got guys in. If you wanted to lean on anybody within our community, lean on the community for a question or a bit of advice or for a cuddle or a kick or whatever you want, if you lean on them, you will find that you aren't the only one with that problem,
Yeah.
and there are other people in there that can give you advice and help, and
Yeah.
um, and the the motivation to realize actually it will all be okay, but you've got to do something about it. If you sit back and do nothing, then nothing will change.
Yeah. It's the I'm different mentality. Like I'm different to other guys. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the conversation that we have. We turn around and we go, I'm different. Things are different for me because I am this or I'm that. And that's when I left the military. I used to think I was different because I've been in the military and you don't know what I've been through and you don't know what I've got. Like you're not going through the same thing as me, but
Yeah.
everyone's going through the same shit. Yes, there are different depths, right? There are people who are not really going through massively shit, but like want to step up. There's people going through real shit who just got themselves in a real fucking knot. When you get yourself in a real knot and it's just about fucking you spend ages there getting it undone. And when you undo the knot, you're like, fuck it now, I've got it. I understand, right? Um, what do you think in your experience of now having worked with me for what, 3-4 years,
Yeah.
um, stops men reaching their potential?
Eh, so having realistic expectations is a big one. So I know you talk about this a lot, James, and we get guys who have unrealistic expectations about what they're going to achieve. So
Yeah.
by that I mean, so say you used to be. So when I was at school, I was really good at sprinting, right? And then I only got back into running when I started working with you.
Yeah.
So there's a big gap, and I went into running thinking that my expectations of what I was going to achieve were really, really high, but I hadn't done anything for 30 years. 25, 30 years. So my reality was way down here. And the only thing in between is just disappointment. And I think what stops men from doing well at something is not building steadily. It's having unrealistic expectations. The gap between that expectation and reality is disappointment. All the toys go out the pram and they disappear and we never
Yeah.
see them again. Whereas if you build slowly and you build realistically, but you have a goal in sight and you know how to get there, then you're much more likely to achieve that goal.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, 100%. And it is a time. The thing that guys don't get is, well, I think they do get, but they don't connect with. It takes time. Like some guys who come into our world, right? If you think about when you left college at 18, some people haven't worked on themselves since then. And if you come in as a, like, let's say a 40-year-old guy, that's 22 years of bad habits that you've got
Yeah,
to undo. You're not just going to do that overnight. Okay. You're going to do it every year, but you're not going to do that. That's why we don't do 28 days anymore. Like we do a 28-day self-study course for those that like need that intro. But like ultimately, the real work is over 12 months, showing up 1% a day, every single day for 365 days.
yeah,
And that is what we're, that's why we've done away with the 90 day. That's why we do what we do. That's why we have that set structure, have the set format, because the number of guys that have come through our front door and we've helped go through that process, it's almost that this is like this is the same path that so many guys have just walked through to change the way they live their life, to
yeah.
be the king of their household, to be in the best shape of their life, to thrive in their business or career, to get all of those dream outcomes, whatever that dream outcome is for you in particular, whether it's feeling calmer, not drinking anymore, like feeling rational about your thoughts and your emotions, whatever it might be. Man, it all starts with that like 1% a day, every single day. And you do that for 365 days, you're a different man, like 100%.
Yeah.
Um, cool. So thanks, John, for this. To finish, what would be your like number one go-to that wasn't, oh, just do the course and sign up? Like what would your based on your experience, like because you run our clarity calls. So what's the thing that you would, based on those clarity calls that you've had with a lot of the guys, what's that one thing that you would say to someone to say, don't forget to do this. This is what's going to change the way you show up.
Just be consistent. If you never get involved more than a 5 day challenge, be consistent in what you want to do. And when the motivation wears off, become dedicated to what you want to do. Because if you only keep going for the time that the motivation is there, you will probably last 2 weeks
Yeah.
before everything else becomes more attractive. You know, your desire to get up when it, especially this time of year when it starts getting colder and
Yeah.
darker. Once the motivation wears off, what is going to get you going?
Yeah.
What is going to keep you consistent?
It's that
Um,
mission.
yeah, so and having a strong emotional connection to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve is absolutely the way forward. That will keep you consistent and that will get you results.